Hi folks, welcome back. Today is the day we start on our little oak porch and start on our timber framing, which I've been looking forward to for several weeks now, so let's get stuck in. Now, if you've seen in one of the previous videos, we planed all of these oak beams down and they're ready to go now. Of course, they're green oak, so they're going to be nice and easy to work and they're nice and smooth now. We'll expect them to be moving and twisting and cracking a little bit over their lifetime, but that's all in the nature of what we're dealing with. Now, the little oak porch is going to look something like this. So really simple, literally just a little square box. I'm probably not going to put any of the corner braces in. It doesn't need them at all structurally because it's basically joined onto two opposing walls anyway. But it would look quite nice. But I think they'd have to be too small really to look the part, and they'd get in the way of the door and things like that. Now, I've got all my SketchUp and everything done, but you know, you can't beat a bit of scrap wood for your layout. So all I know is I've got 1360 as our sole plate and our beam at the top. So we can cut those to length, and then we'll mortise both the top and the bottom, and then we've got two posts with a tenon in top and bottom. Oh man, you can see why timber framers work in barns, not workshops. We're going to see this face and a little bit of this face here, so that's kind of quite nice to make a feature of. And we'll first do our square cut down here. There's no nasties that need cutting off, so we'll just come in from the edge a bit. Alright, see if we can do a better job of keeping the blade square. The blade is square, is set up square in the saw. It's just as soon as you tweak it a little bit, you've got 100 mil of blade sticking out here that you end up all over the place. But if we go on the wrong side of the line, or the far side of the line, we can always pare it back with a plane. We've got all the timbers cut to length, so now I've put them to one side. Got basically working on the one end first, so I've got two just over 2 meter posts, and then we've got the top and bottom timbers. They're the ones I'm going to work on now. It's a lot easier to see the markings when you plane the timber as well. That was where I struggled last time. I know a lot of people use specific markers for timber framing, but I haven't quite got that far yet. So this will become our bottom timber, just like in this diagram, this bit here. That's going to be facing the inside, which means this is our top, that's our outside. So we need to have a mortise in each end for our posts to sit in. Now this is the point where traditional timber framers, the proper way of doing it, is to lay it all out on your sawhorses and use a plumb line down and scribe the member that you're putting into it onto this one, because you can't guarantee, especially if they're very irregular shaped timbers or not perfectly square. Now I'm going to cheat like I did last time and just treat these as square timbers, because they are pretty much bang on. Now that I've planed them and they came off the sawmill very, very well, i.e. they were very square when they arrived, I don't think there's going to be an issue just treating them that way. 1, 2, 3, and if I measure the post, and that's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this is the first one. The mortises are cut. This one's actually going to be a half lap. I've got to cut the top section of this off for the beam that comes off the other way. It's a third of the width. The general rule is a quarter, but in this case, if a quarter ends up at only 30 mil and it just looks a little bit skinny. Of course, the more you take out, the weaker you make the timber with the mortise in, if that makes sense. So you wouldn't want to go beyond a third, I don't think. But this is that's what I've gone for anyway. And it's basically 2 plunges in width, which works out 85 mil. So I'm all marked up on this one. So we'll clamp on the chain mortise and plunge out these 2. This one's the sole, so this one's down the bottom. And you start on the far side of the mortise with this Makita. You basically have one plunge straight down, and then there's a lever here which enables you to tip the chain to the side, to the left, and then you plunge again. You can do that to 3 settings. So what I've done is I've made sure that our mortise is basically 2 plunges in width. I don't have to rearrange this at all then. So I can do plunge, plunge, and then you pull on this lever here. Actually, and then you go back to vertical, pull on this lever here, that sends you towards yourself by the width of the chain, plunge down again, and then across, plunge. So that's 4 plunges without moving the base. But because, like I was saying, because I want to make the tenons a little bit fatter, all I have to do is just move the threaded bar, and that just tweaks it a little bit this way for this last 2 plunges. And then because I've gone a little bit deeper than I need, because obviously the bottom is curved, the chain, we shouldn't really have to tidy up too much with the chisel. I normally just tidy up the sides. Right, now we're going to move on to marking out these tenons, and what I've done, rightly or wrongly, I know that this is my face side, and I know on all my timbers which is the inside, or what I'm treating as the same plane of the frame. And I know that all of my mortises are measured back from that front face, so 40mm back. So for instance, this tenon here, I know that 40mm back from there is where I want to cut down to. And that becomes my shoulder. And I also know that my mortise is 40mm thick or wide. So we know that this is what we're keeping. We know that the mortise is deep enough to house the length, full length of this tenon. So this becomes the waist. And that measurement there, in this case, because it's only a 1-2-1 this way, this is almost the same. It's almost in thirds. But if there is any difference, it'll be on this face. Because this is the visible one, so this is the one where I want everything to be completely linear and flat with each other, and then this is what we've got facing the outside, which is hidden behind the cladding. I know that's probably not the right way and not the norm, but it's going to do exactly what we need to do. It's worked so far. Seem to have come up with a large collection of oak door stops. If anyone's interested, lovely little Christmas present. I could personalise them with a Sharpie. Right, let's have a tidy down. Right, what I've done is I've got these tables in, which are a bit of a clumsy way of doing it. But I've only got 2 of the sawhorses built at the moment, so I mean, and I know that these are flat as well. Should have brought in the other one first. Okay, so again, this table needs to come this way. Then we really won't be able to get out. It's a sacrifice we're gonna have to make. Okay, so. One to one. I can already tell that one's not going to fit. 2. Oh, that's going. Why am I test fitting this in the workshop? We could be lucky, yeah. Fluke, absolute fluke. Take the edges off, either with a block plane or just with the chisel. Okay, definitely running out of space. I'm going to leave it there. They're pretty much there. I just don't want to force them because I've got to get them out tomorrow. Successful day. Let me give you a quick look around what we've done, and then we'll pick this up tomorrow. So I guess here's the wide shot. We're about 2.3 meters high and 1.3-ish in the width. So if you can see down that end, I just need to have a little tweak there to make sure we can send it across flush with the end. That corner is just a lucky fluke because it's pretty much bang on. Down here, I'm pretty sure they'll go. Like I said, my error in the last frame I did was to make everything too perfect. And of course, everything's going to shrink and tighten up and twist and do what it does anyway. So in actual fact, because everything's hidden, it's better to have a little bit of leeway there. And remember, when we peg these, we'll be drawing them closer. And we'll look at that in the future video, but that's when you do the offset hole and drive the peg through and it pulls it all tight. So not bad. That was 5.5 hours to get that done. So I guess an hour-ish per pair. Of course, it's a little bit slower in here because I was reminding myself how to do things, and also space was an issue. But hopefully by tomorrow I'll be able to get the remaining, what have we got? It's just simply a post and a single horizontal beam which will tie into this one, and then that will kind of close off the corner. So there's a good chance we can get this finished off, lug it around there, and then start pegging everything together by the end of the day tomorrow. And then the day after that, or whenever I actually get a chance, we'll be looking at doing all the stud work in between, getting the joists on the roof, and then the roof light is also on the way. So things picking up speed now. Good day's work. But there we go. Any questions, stick them down below. As always, DIY novice here, so anything too technical I will just pass on to the masses, and hopefully you'll get an answer that way. But thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do yourself, and we'll see you next time.